are back live here on the HyVeeHomestretch. Emery Sunger now being joined by senior guard for the William Penn women's basketball team, Sarah Hansen. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you for a lot of different reasons, but first and foremost, let's just piggyback off of what Coach Williamson was talking about this team. You were a part of the team last year that made the trip to the national tournament for the first time in a really long time. It was a little unexpected by the time it was announced, but a trip you guys would like to make again this year. New coach, new system, a lot of new players. Through 11 games, how do you feel about where this team's at?
I feel really good because I was also a new player last year, so I also had to come to a new coach with a new system and everything like that, and we started off kind of slow last year, and it took us a while to buy into the program, like Coach was saying, that we're kind of starting to do this year. So I see a similar start this year, except an even better one considering we have the best start since 1990s, somewhere around there. So I feel really good about this year. All we got to do is keep buying into the program and buy into the system that Coach is telling us to do, and I think that we'll go a long way this year, hopefully.
8-3 is a very good start, especially with a first-year head coach, but you know very well from your experience last year that there are a lot of tough teams coming around the corner. A lot of ranked teams. There a couple years ago, 3 of the final 4 of the NAI Division I came out of this conference. So knowing those teams, I know you feel good about 8-3, but is this team, you think, ready to take on some of those titans that you know you'll have to beat if you want to make another run toward the national tournament?
I mean, there's always room for improvement with our team. I see us moving forward. We started off kind of rough, but our defense is what's kind of getting us a long way this year. Whereas last year it was mainly offense, like we were focusing on getting 80 points a game and all this stuff, but now it's like we're really focused on defense, limiting the opposing team. So yeah, I think we're getting ready slowly, but I feel like we're up for the challenge, and I see it in our team a lot. When we go against better teams, we seem to play up to their level, and then when we play like teams that aren't as good, we seem to like play down. So that's a thing that we kind of need to start being consistent with how we play each team.
You guys did win a couple of games against highly ranked opponents, which I think really helped in getting you guys one of those at-large spots to the national tournament. So with that, the team kind of coasted to a win Saturday, but you were not there. That's one game that you won't be at, but it's not because you were hurt. It's not because of, academics or anything. This is an interesting story. I'll let you tell it. Take me through what you were doing on Saturday instead of at the game, and kind of how that all happened.
Well, when I got out of high school, when I graduated high school, I decided to join the Army, and I became a surgical tech, took a year off of school, and then came back and started playing. So right now I'm in the reserves. I've been in for about 4.5, 5 years now, planning on making a career out of it. So each month we pretty much have drill where we have to go in 1 weekend a month and just do soldier development and all these medical classes and a lot of things, but they're required. And recently we found out that deployment is like very, very possible in the near future. So we've been kind of stressing about that and getting ready. So that's what we were doing. That's what I was doing last Saturday.
Well, and that's very interesting because you can tell, I mean, for those who haven't seen you play, I'm going to break the news to everyone that you're 5'5". You're not a super tall player, but you have a really good shot. You're a natural scorer. So basketball has been really important. Take me through your journey in basketball as well to this point.
Oh gosh. Well, when I was younger, I actually wanted to be a football player in high school, so that's a funny story about it. But my father actually coached me since about 2nd grade, and then in 4th grade I did AYBT up all the way through high school. I did AAU, and my dad was always my coach, so the screaming, the yelling, all that I'm very used to, getting kicked out of gyms. All that I'm used to. So mental toughness was something with the Army that really developed me not only as a player and a soldier, but as a person. So basketball has always been the go-to. It's always been the stress reliever and everything. My bondage with my father, everything, pretty much.
Where did you go to school before we saw you come to William Penn last year?
Oh, well, my freshman year I went to Cornell College in Mount Vernon. And then my sophomore year, I went to Blackhawk East College, which was a junior college in Kewanee, Illinois.
All right, so you had a couple of journeys. Eventually, what led you to playing for Coach Scott last year in William Penn University?
Well, out of junior college, I had a lot. I had a lot of offers, and honestly, William Penn was actually my last. It was my last decision. Somewhere I just didn't want to go. I had a lot of Division II looks. I was like, you know the stigma with Division II and NAIA, NCAA, all that stuff. So what I did was I decided to do college visits, and I visited a few Division II colleges, and I played with them, and it was easy for me to score. It was easy. So I came here and I scrimmaged with them, and it was really hard. And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense, because this is NAIA, that's Division II, why is it, And so I was like, okay. So Coach Scott, he actually contacted me all the time. And it means a lot when the head coach, the actual head coach, contacts you. And not only did he do that, but he also came to my hometown, and he put me through a workout and killed me. I was dead. And he took me out to eat, and I was just very interested. He told me he was going to make me better, and that's honestly what I cared about, was getting better and being on a successful team, and just having that team chemistry. I always asked about that as well. And I don't know, I felt like after that day with him, I was very strongly leaning towards William Penn, and that's what made my decision in the end.
And you were immediate impact to the offense for a coach in Coach Scott that really liked to score the basketball and wanted to play as fast a pace as possible. Had a lot of big games. You're having a really good season so far this year. How has that transition been for you and players like Vashti who've been here, even Jenna Santee, who is back to the varsity level this year, coming from a coach who, you guys wanted to score a lot of points, to a coach where now it's very defensive oriented and you guys want to execute in the half court offense, and you may not score 80 points a game, but you're hoping to hold the opposition to less than 50?
Yeah, I think it's a lot different, because my coaches are going to kill me if they see this, my previous ones, but I was never really taught. I was taught to play defense, but the coaches in my past always expected me just shoot the ball, score the ball, score the ball. So that was the main focus. And now this year it's I don't care what you can do on offense, you better play defense. So now it's I'm really trying to buy into defense, and I realize that's kind of helping me with everything else. I realize that it kind of goes together. I'm getting lots of layups, and last year it was mostly threes. I didn't take it into the basket. I didn't pull up jumper. Those weren't too big. It was mainly threes, coming down, shoot a three. And I don't know, with the defense and the team that we have this year, I am just a lot more motivated to take it to the basket, or to get that steal and take it to the basket. And yeah, that's the only difference, but it's a good difference, definitely.
Well, the team's winning, and that's important. You're also still the leading scorer as well, so you're still getting those looks offensively. Last question is kind of basketball related, but you have one game left. You finish finals. Coach Williamson said he wants his players to really focus on what happens on the 9th to make sure that we go down and get a win in Springfield, but then you almost have a month off. I know Coach probably has some dates that he wants to make sure that you're back and ready to go and everything, but what's the holiday break look like for Sarah Hansen?
For Sarah Hansen, well, we aren't very sure yet. He's kind of keeping it a surprise if we are staying next week and practicing, or if we are able to go home. If we're staying and practicing, and I'm working. But either way, I'm staying. I'm staying here until probably the 9th or 16th, and then I have to go back to my unit and do work, and then we'll be back on the 27th. So I'll get a week off, but I'll definitely be working out. We have our fitness trainer. She's sending us home some workouts to do. My dad, he's a coach, so I have the gym. I have all access to the gym, so that's the great thing about it. Not many people are so lucky on my team. So hopefully, I think we'll all be working on the off season. Otherwise, it's going to be hard coming back, because I'm getting old, and I know I'm getting out of shape. I get out of shape after 3 days of not working out. So definitely have to be running and doing stuff off the court.
Well, we'll definitely be able to watch that first and foremost, because we'll, of course, be broadcasting all the women's games. So be sure to check out our William Penn broadcast in Springfield, Missouri, coming up on Saturday. And then, of course, after the winter break, we'll be right back at it with a laundry list of games and important games you guys will play in Hart Place. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us. This was a great talk, and we'll be seeing you on Saturday.
All right.
That is Sarah Hansen, senior guard, William Penn University women's basketball. William Penn also made an interesting hire for their volleyball coach, and we had a chance to talk with her as she was introduced by athletics director Nick Rule. We'll have that interview coming up right after the break, right here on the HyVeeHomestretch on the No Coast Network.